It's difficult to believe that we're standing at a crime scene. When you look around, it's like any community in Jamaica. This could have been anywhere. A few meters from where I'm standing, a car drove up. The men alighted from the car. One high-powered automatic weapon, which has been certified to be an M16, obviously by virtue of the recovered spent shells, and handguns were used. There may be the view that this was a drive-by. So I want to dispel that from the public consciousness. The men, by the reports we have received, alighted from the car, walked a few meters to this establishment, and they pursued individuals and killed, including an 8-year-old youngster who was just killed right behind that car there. They then went back in the vehicle, went further down into the community, came out of their vehicle again, pursued individuals, and one person was killed. So I want it to be understood that this is not what you would describe as a regular criminal act of a drive-by, and even that should never be described in that way. But this is an act calculated to deliver the highest level of terror. And that is what made me today convene the National Security Council to discuss a criminal act that would not necessarily attract the attention of the National Security Council. But the nature of what was done, and of course what we know about the connections that are involved in this, would make me, as the chairman of the National Security Council and Minister Chang as Minister of National Security, take a very deep look at this problem of organized armed violence and the role that gangs play in the organization, the arming, and the producing violence affecting innocent people. We have, over the last 4 years, invested heavily in the investigative capacity of the JCF. And I don't have to go into the examples of the incredible work that the major investigations and other units of the JCF, led by the great work of DCP Bailey, would have done in solving all kinds of crimes. In 2023, I described a similar event as a terror event where a gangster in Mount Salem in St. James with a high-powered weapon opened fire on a public passenger vehicle, killing 3 persons, including 2 youngsters. And at that time, I spoke stridently and I made a commitment to their mothers. I visited them personally and to their other family members that we would capture and bring to justice those persons who are involved. And that was done within a few weeks. So I want the criminals who are involved in this to take my words very seriously. I am personally looking on all areas of the organization to ensure that all the resources necessary from the state, whether it is the financing, whether it is the international cooperation, whether it is the legislative support, will be made available to the security forces to pursue this relentlessly. They must either meet a judge or meet their maker, whichever they choose. But Jamaica cannot countenance this kind of crime where people feel they have the impunity to, in one act, take so many lives or take any lives whatsoever. I see this as an important tipping point. We have invested, as I've said, heavily in the capabilities of the JCF, whether it is intelligence, training, leadership, infrastructure, technology. There's no question, no other administration has invested in the JCF as we have done. We have used those resources within the law to diminish the capabilities of gangs and indeed to eliminate many gangs. In fact, 4 years ago, we had about 380 gangs, the last report I recall. My report this morning is that we now have 185 active gangs being pursued. Today, I gave a directive to the National Security Council that we must eradicate, eliminate, diminish, wipe out all the gangs that exist, every single one of them, no matter how they feel that they are connected, no matter how they feel that they have resources and they are protected by whoever in the society. This is a tipping point. And as I said in the press conference, every gang leader now should take with themselves. Because as I stand here, I'm absolutely resolved that we will conquer this problem of organized armed violence perpetrated by gangs. So the JCF has, and the JDF, they have their marching orders. They know what the policy of the government is. They know that we're going to put the resources behind it. And in the instant case, yes, we will find the people who are responsible. As I committed to the mother who I met just a while ago, that, getting the killer is not going to return your daughter. But after you have gone through the grieving process and you start to look at, crimes affecting other people, you're going to want your daughter's life to mean something. And if by virtue of this very sad incident that the state's resolve is steeled to go after these criminals, then it may give a sense of comfort to those who have lost loved ones. So yes, we will treat with the instant case, but that is only a part of the projection and focus. We will go after all the gangs. And what we are seeing is that there are connections and links with not just the gangs that are involved, but with other gangs who facilitate. And we will leave no stone unturned. We will pull every thread to see where it leads. Jamaica is at an inflection point, meaning that we have solved the economic issues. We have dealt with the resilience issues. The big issue now for us is peace. And if we solve the peace element of the equation, we will take off at a rate that is much faster than we have grown before. So that is what is holding us back, peace and productivity. But if we can solve the peace part of the equation, our growth will just take off. Jamaica has the potential to do it. And I want to assure the people of this community that the resources are in place to keep you safe. And just quickly to point out, the traditional modalities of police operations should not be used to judge police operations going forward in the future. The police have many modalities of treating with issues. So I heard one call from someone who I'm not surprised they don't know better, that they should see the place flooded with police. I'm not going to explain the strategic direction of the police because we don't want the criminals to understand what we're doing. But if you stop for a moment, right, if there are connections, then the police not only need to be here, but they need to be at other places as well. And they might very well be here and you don't know. So I would say to persons who have no idea of what we're doing, not to try and misdirect public attention. Right now, what we need is unity, and unity in all forms. We need unity in civil society, and we need political unity. This should never be used as an opportunity to divide the attention of the people, as I have seen someone try to do. My understanding comes because we have given policy directives from the National Security Council, is that whenever issues like these occur, murders or any kind of issue, that victim support is a standard practice of police response. So I would leave DCP Bailey to say how victim support has been mobilized. But for those who would seek to create political mischief, I would wish to inform the public that the standard operating procedure of the JCF is that in incidents like these, or even lesser incidents, that the resources for victim support is mobilized almost immediately. The police is fully mobilized. I am told, and again, DCP Bailey, I'll leave those details to be verified, but there are 4 persons in custody. 1 firearm has been seized so far, and you are only